Today's topic work, power and energy. So first, what is meant by work and what are the units and dimensional formula for work? Similarly for power and also for energy. First of all, about work. Work is a scalar quantity. So what is meant by scalar? It has only magnitude without any direction. Such quantities are called scalar quantities. So work is also a scalar. So work should be denoted with W. So according to the formula it will be force dot displacement. Force is a vector, displacement is also a vector. The product of two vectors is a scalar. So it is nothing but, according to the definition, the magnitude of displacement, the product of magnitude of displacement and component of force acting along the parallel direction to the applied force. Okay, what are the units for this force in MK system? It will be Newton. Displacement will be in meter, Newton meter or joule. So units of work is joule in MK system. So Newton meter also we can write it as Newton is equal to kg meter per second square into meter. Again meter here. Meter into meter, that will be meter square. Kg meter square per second square. Okay. Dimensional formula. Kg indicates mass m, meter length L square, T power minus 2. That is the dimensional formula for work done is equal to m L square T minus 2. Once again, work is a scalar quantity, that means it has only magnitude but no direction. It is the product of force and displacement. So both are vector. The product of two vector is a scalar. So work is a scalar. Okay. The magnitude of the product of magnitude of the displacement and the component of force along the parallel direction, along the direction of the force is nothing but work done. Force units are newtons, displacement units meters. Newton should be written as kg meter per second square. According to the formula F is equal to ma, again into meter, it will become kg meter square per second square. So dimensional formula becomes m L square T power minus 2. This is the dimensional formula for work done. Next, about power. Power should be denoted with P. It is nothing but the rate of doing work by the force, work done by time. So work done, units in MK system is joule, time will be in second. Joule per second is nothing but watt. That means units of power, either joule per second or watt. So joule should be written as Newton meter by second. What is meant by joule? How can you define a joule? Joule is nothing but the force applied on the body should be 1 Newton. Due to the applied force, the body should displace at least 1 meter through a distance of 1 meter. Then the amount of work done in such a case is nothing but joule. Body మీద మనం ఒక న్యూటన్ ఫోర్స్ అప్లై చేసి బాడీని ఒక మీటర్ డిస్ప్లేస్ చేయగలిగినట్టయితే మొత్తం ఈ మ్యాగ్నిట్యూడ్ అంతటిని మనం మరి జౌల్, న్యూటన్ మీటర్, దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ జౌల్. న్యూటన్ మీటర్ షుడ్ బి written like this, kg meter per second square. Again there is one more meter and second. Newton will be kg meter per second square. Okay, again meter and again there will be one second. It will become kg meter square. Okay, m square t minus 3. This is the dimensional formula for the power. Next topic, energy. Capacity or ability to do work is called energy. Work and energy have same units. So, energy units is also in SI system. It will be joule. Should be written as Newton meter or kg meter per second square. Again meter. It will be l square t minus 2. See the again dimensional formula for the energy. So energy will be classified into two types in our syllabus. So potential energy and kinetic energy. First, potential energy. Energy possessed by virtue of its position or height. So that means potential energy depends upon mainly on the height. Okay. And the formula for potential energy, P dot E is equal to mgh. Here, m is the mass of the body, G is the acceleration due to gravity, h is the height. Then kinetic energy. Again, kinetic energy is defined as energy possessed by virtue of its motion. That means bodies which are in motion, they have kinetic energy. So kinetic energy formula will be of mv square. Here, m is again mass of the body, v is the velocity of the body. So it depends upon mass and velocity. But potential energy depends upon mass and height. So if height increases, potential energy will be also increases. So what are the best examples for potential energy? A water stored in a dam, a bent bow, a stretched string. Okay, these are all the examples of potential energy. For kinetic energy, bodies are in motion, a vehicle are moving on the road. Okay, bullet releases from the gun. So aeroplane in which is in motion. So like water flows out from the dam or water flowing through in canal. These are all the examples of kinetic energy. So next, how do you find the potential energy or derive an expression for the potential energy? So expression for potential energy. Let us consider a body of mass m is lying on the ground. Suppose if it be lifted to a certain height from the ground, let us say the vertical height should be h to a certain height h by applying a force F against the gravitational force. The gravitational force against the ఈ m అనే మాస్ ఆఫ్ ద బాడీని మనం h అనే హైట్ కి లిఫ్ట్ చేయాలి. సో అగైనెస్ట్ ద గ్రావిటేషనల్ ఫోర్స్ బై అప్లైయింగ్ సమ్ ఫోర్స్. సో దెన్ ఫోర్స్ అకార్డింగ్ టు న్యూటన్ సెకండ్ లా F is equal to mg. Actually ma, a should be replaced with g because it will be in vertical motion, acceleration due to gravity. Then work done. Work done is nothing but force dot displacement. Here, displacement from the ground against the gravitational force should be denoted with h. So that means in case of F we should have to write it as mg. Displacement, vertical displacement will be h. So that means W is equal to mgh. So the amount of work done in the body will be stored as potential energy. Therefore, potential energy is equal to mgh. Okay, energy. Energy means the unit should be always equal to that of work. What are the units of work? It will be joule or Newton meter. Okay, this is about the potential energy. What are the examples of potential energy? Water stored in a dam or bent bow or stretched string. Okay, these are all the examples of potential energy. Next topic, work energy theorem. work energy theorem. Let us consider a body. A body is moving with the initial velocity u. Remember, initial velocity should be always considered with the u, and moving with the final velocity v. Distance covered in a constant acceleration will be s. Acceleration should be denoted with a. See once again what are the letters? Initial velocity of the body will be considered as u. Final velocity will be v, meter per second. With a constant acceleration, the acceleration should be denoted with a, and covers a distance of s. Okay. We will write again the letters. Initial velocity u, meter per second. Final velocity should be v, meter per second. Then acceleration a, meter per second square. Okay, distance covered should be denoted with s, that is in meters. Okay, what are the letters here? V, U, A, S. Okay, what are the formula we have to use? By using these letters from equations of motion. Equations of motion. We know that v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. Let us consider it will be equation number 1. Multiply with half m both sides, the equation 1. Multiply the equation 1 with half m both sides. Then we will get both sides. Then we will get half m v square minus half m u square is equal to half m 2as. 2 become cancelled. Half mv square indicates final kinetic energy. Should be denoted with k suffix f. Half mu square indicates initial kinetic energy because v is the initial velocity, v is the final velocity. Kf minus ki, on the right side it will be mas. Again, kf minus ki ma, according to Newton's second law, ma is equal to f. That means f dot s. Therefore, finally it becomes kf minus k suffix I is equal to f dot s is nothing but work done. So therefore, w is equal to kf minus ki. Okay. So from this, we can define the work energy theorem. The change in kinetic energies, the change in kinetic energy of a particle is equal to the work done by the net force. So, okay, that is the definition for work energy theorem. Once again, change in kinetic energy of the particle is equal to the work done by the net force. That is the definition for work energy theorem. Once again, the body is moving with an initial velocity u and the final velocity v with a constant acceleration a and covers a distance of s. Okay, initial velocity should be denoted with u meter per second. Final velocity should be denoted with v meter per second. Acceleration a, units meter per second square. Distance travelled will be equal to s, that is in meters. From equations of motion is v square minus u square is equal to 2s. That is, they give it as equation number 1. They multiply both sides with half m, then it will become half mu square minus half mu square is equal to half ms. 2 becomes cancelled. Half mu square, it will be v is the final velocity, so it is the final kinetic energy. U is the initial velocity, it is the initial kinetic energy. MAS, according to Newton's second law, MA is equal to F dot S. F dot S is equal to W, work done. So from this we can say that the change in kinetic energy should be equal to the amount of work done, okay, by the net collision. And how many types of collisions are there? Okay, and the expression for redistribution velocities in the collision. So collision means a strong attraction force between the two bodies in a very short interval of time, during which change in momenta, so ignoring the other forces, all forces. Okay, this will be two types. One is that elastic collision, second one is inelastic. What is the difference between elastic and inelastic collision? Elastic collision. In elastic collision, both momentum and the kinetic energy. Momentum should be denoted with P. Kinetic energy should be indicated with Ke. Both momentum and kinetic energy remains constant. That means they are conserved. But in case of inelastic collision, only momentum will be constant but not kinetic energy. So there are two types: collision, elastic collision and inelastic collision. Okay. Next. So expression for the finding out the relative velocities, change in relative velocities before and after collision. Okay, let us consider two marbles or spheres. Line joining their center of masses will be same. So before collision, the mass of first sphere m1 and second sphere m2. Before collision, the initial velocity of the first sphere u1 and the second sphere u2. So when the first sphere collides with the second one, that means this is the case of during collision. Okay, after collision also they are moving on the same straight line, then we can say it is a one-dimensional elastic collision. Again after collision there will be no change in mass. Mass of the first sphere again m1, second sphere m2, final velocity is v1 and v2. But in case of collision, if we want to, that means if the collision will be occurs only when there is u1 greater than u2. That means initial velocity of the first sphere should be greater than the initial velocity of the second sphere. Then only the collision occurs between them. The line joining of the center of masses should be before and after collision will be same. Then we can say it is a head-on collision. Okay. Then masses will be same m1 and m2 before and after collision. But the final velocity is v1 and v2. First ball final will be v1, second ball will be v2. According to law of conservation of momentum, according to law of conservation of momentum, so momentum before collision is equal to momentum after a collision. That means it remains constant. So before collision, what is momentum? Momentum formula, mass into velocity. Mass of the first ball and initial velocity of the first ball, that is m1 u1, plus mass of second ball m2, initial velocity of the second ball u2. So this will be before collision is equal to after collision, is equal to after collision mass of the first sphere m1 final velocity of the first sphere v1 plus mass of the second sphere m2, final velocity will be v2. Okay, we can rearrange the equation. All initials will be one side, finals, that means first bodies will be one side, second bodies will be other side. M1, U1, bring out this M1, U1, then left side, M1 minus M1, V1, then M2, V2, taken out this next side, it becomes M2, U2. Take out the common M1, then this equation becomes U1 minus V1. Here also take out the M2 common, V2 minus U2. This is the equation number 1. According to law of conservation of momentum. So momentum before collision is equal to momentum after collision. That means momentum remains conserved. So it's the equation number 1. Next, according to law of conservation of energy, kinetic energy. Next, according to law of conservation of kinetic energy. Kinetic energy formula for the first sphere. Kinetic energy is nothing but half mv square. But here the initial velocity is u, so it becomes half m1 u1 square plus second sphere of m2 u2 square. Since before collision is equal to after collision. After collision of m1 v1 square plus of m2 v2 square. So half will be remains cancelled. We can take out the half will be common. Half will be common, then it becomes half m1 v1 square plus m2 u2 square. Here also half will be common, m1 v1 square plus m2 v2 square. Half will be cancelled. Then the formula becomes m1 u1 square plus m2 u2 square is equal to m1 v1 square plus m2 v2 square. So we will continue. I will rearrange this equation. m1 u1 square. This is the first sphere with the first initial velocity. Next side for first ball minus m1 v1 square, take out into the next side. Next second ball m2 v2 square, we take out this to the next side and it becomes minus m2 u2 square. Okay. Take out the common m1 here, u1 square minus v1 square, m2 of v2 square minus u2 square. Okay. That will be equation number 2. Now divide equation 2 with 1. Equation 2 with 1, what is going to happen? m1 u1 square minus v1 square is equal to m2 v2 square minus u2 square. See the equation number 2. See equation 1 now already here. So by equation 1, m1 u1 minus v1, then m2 v2 minus u2. So then what is going to happen? So this will be written as a square minus b square will be a plus b into a minus b. So write it as u1 minus v1 into u1 plus v1. A minus b into a plus b. That will be a square minus b square by m1 of u1 minus v1. Again here also a square minus b square. A plus b into a minus b. by V2 minus U. It will become cancelled. It will become cancelled. Then what it will be left? U1 plus V1 is equal to V2 plus U. So rearrange the initial velocities one side. Then it becomes U1 minus U2 is equal to V2 minus V1. This is the separation of velocities before collision and the separation of velocities after collision. Separation of energy in case of freely falling body. In case of freely falling body. So very important topic. Law of conservation of energy. What is meant by it? How can you define law of conservation of energy? It is energy neither created nor destroyed, but it will be changes from one form to another form. So total energy of a closed system remains constant. అంటే ఎనర్జీని మనం సృష్టించలేము, నాశనం చేయలేము. బట్ వీ కెన్ చేంజ్ ఇట్ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ ఫామ్ టు అనదర్ ఫామ్. ఓ ఫామ్ నుంచి ఓ ఫామ్లో మనం మార్చచ్చు, బట్ టోటల్ ఎనర్జీ రిమైన్స్ కాన్స్టెంట్. సో హౌ డు యూ ప్రూవ్ ది స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీలీ ఫాలింగ్ బాడీ? దట్ ఈస్ కన్సిడర్ ది బాడీ falls freely from point A. So to point C, here it is the ground, point C. In the middle we have to consider point B. Let a body pass from a height A to C will be equal to capital H. The total height from A to ground or C is capital H. And the distance from B to C will be considered as small h. From B to ground will be small h. Then the distance between A and B is nothing but capital H minus small h. That means the distance F is equal to h minus h from A to B. Once again, a body will be falls from certain height, let us say A, to the ground C. Let us say in the middle there is a B. Total height from the body which is falling from certain height is H. Okay. Distance between B to C is small h. Then the distance traveled from A to B of the body is F is equal to H minus H. Capital H minus small h. Okay. We can prove in this situation, we have to prove we follow law of conservation of energy. That means energy at A equal to energy at B. That will be equal to energy at C. That means energy at every point will be remains constant. We have to prove through the activity. So, what is the potential energy at the point A? At point A, this should be written as potential energy at A, E dot E at A. Potential energy formula mg from here to here, the total height will be equal to h. Mg capital H. This is the equation 1. Next, kinetic energy at the point A, K dot E at A is equal to kinetic energy formula of mu square. But here it is a freely falling body from certain height A. For all freely falling bodies, remember initial velocity u equal to 0. Therefore, for all freely falling bodies, initial velocity is 0. Therefore, u is equal to 0. Therefore, kinetic energy at A is equal to half m0. That is equal to 0. Kinetic energy at A is equal to 0. So, this will be equation number 2. Then total energy. Total energy at A equal to potential energy at A plus kinetic energy at A. From equations 1 and 2, potential energy at A equal to mgh plus kinetic energy equal to 0. Therefore, total energy at A equal to mgh. This is the equation number A. Total energy at A equal to mg capital H. Okay. In the previous case, total energy we have calculated, it will be equal to mgh. Now, what is the total energy at B? So, when body falls from A to B, it covers a distance f is equal to h minus h. That means it has kinetic energy because it is in motion, and also it will be at a certain height from the ground, so it has also potential energy. That means at B, the body should have both energies, potential energy as well as kinetic energy. So then what is the potential energy at B? Energy potential energy formula, mg body at B from ground to B, what is the height h, small h? This is the potential energy at B. Kinetic energy. Kinetic energy formula of mv square. How do we calculate the velocity? So velocity, initial velocity for freely falling body is 0. Final velocity will be v. Distance covered is h minus h. Acceleration due to gravity g. By using this, from equations of motion, you know that v square minus v square is equal to 2as. V square minus v square is equal to 2as. Final velocity, initial velocity, acceleration of the body, and the distance covered. Okay. Here A should be replaced with G because vertical motion. Yes, distance covered is h minus and h. Substitute the values in this equation. V square minus v square is equal to 2as. So v square minus, for all freely falling body, initial velocity 0, 2, A should be replaced with G, S value should be h minus h. Therefore, V square is equal to 2G h minus h. This is the formula for final velocity. Substitute the value in the kinetic energy equation. So, what will we get? Kinetic energy at B is equal to half m v square value 2g h minus h. 2 remains cancelled. Therefore, it will be m into g of h minus h. Okay, this is the kinetic energy at B. Then, how do you calculate the total energy? So, you calculate the total energy. Already potential energy at B is equal to mgh. Kinetic energy at B is equal to mg h minus small h. Okay. Then total energy at B is equal to mgh plus m, open the bracket, mgh minus of mgh. mgh becomes cancelled. Therefore, total energy at B is equal to mgh. This is equation number B. In equation A also, total energy at A will be equal to mgh. So, total energy at B is equal to mgh. So, A and B are equal. Then, next step, at C. How do we calculate the total energy at C? C is here. When the body reaches from A to C, so when the body falls on the ground, there will be no height. Height remains 0. That means there is no potential energy. It has only kinetic energy. So let us say potential energy at C. That is equal to mgh. Okay. Here h is equal to 0 because already it reaches the ground. No, there is no height. Then potential energy at C is equal to 0. That is mg into 0. That is equal to 0. Then how do you calculate the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy at the C. Kinetic energy formula of mv square. How do you calculate the velocity? From equations of motion, v square minus v square is equal to 2as. For all freely falling body, initial velocity will be 0. So v square minus 0 to a should be replaced with g. Okay. Yes means distance traveled. So total distance traveled from A to C, that is equal to h. Therefore v square is equal to 2gh. Substitute the v square value in the kinetic energy equation. Therefore kinetic energy at C is equal to half m 2gh. 2 cancel, it becomes mgh. So kinetic energy at C is equal to mgh. Potential energy at C is equal to 0. Therefore total energy will be equal to total energy at C is equal to potential energy at C plus kinetic energy at C. Potential energy at C will be 0. Kinetic energy C will be mg capital H. Therefore total energy at C is equal to mg capital H. So this is the equation number C. From equations A, B, C, the energy remains constant at every point in its path under the acceleration due to gravity. That means hence we are proved law of conservation of energy in case of freely falling body. A machine gun fires 360 bullets. Bullets, that means they are given number of bullets, that will be 360 per minute. Indirectly they are given time also. అంటే ఒక నిమిషానికి 360 bullets రిలీజ్ అవుతున్నాయి per minute. అంటే టైం మనం 1 minute తీసుకోవాలి. And each bullet travels with a speed of 600 meters per second. So ఎంత వెలాసిటీతో దూసుకెళ్తున్నాయి బుల్లెట్స్ అంటే 600 meters per second. If the mass of bullet, mass of each bullet is 5 grams. That means mass they are given in grams, but we are following the MK system, so this gram should be converted into kg. Immediately we should have to do the conversion. Find the power of the machine gun. Power. Machine gun. See here, what is the data they are given? Number of bullets 360, that should be denoted with N. Per minute, time should be 1 minute, that should be converted into seconds, that is 60 seconds. Each bullet travels with a speed of 600 meters per second, the speed of the bullet V. Okay, bullet mass, each bullet is 5 grams, this should be converted into kg. So what they are asked to find? Power P. First given data, number of bullets, N is equal to 360, then speed speed of bullet V is equal to 600 meter per second. Next, mass of each bullet. M is equal to 5 gram. That is equal to 5 into 10 power minus 3 kg. Here the conversion 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. Therefore 1 gram is equal to 1 by 1000 kg. That is equal to 1 by 10 cube kg. That is equal to 10 power minus 3 kg. Therefore this is 1 gram is equal to 10 power minus 3 kg. That is the conversion. So 5 gram means 5 into 10 power minus 3 kg. Power is nothing but rate of doing work near time. Work done by time. Here bullets are in motion. The amount of work done will be in the form of kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is nothing but half mv square by t. But kinetic energy done by number of bullets, n number of bullets, that is n into half mv square by t. This is the formula used to find the power here. Power again, P is equal to n. N value 360, then of m, mass 5 into 10 power minus 3, velocity 600 square by time 1 minute. 1 minute per minute, 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Okay. Or simplifying this will be 6 times, will be again 3 times. On simplifying, we get P is equal to 5400 watts. 5400 watts. This is the power. So what is the formula? We have to use it to remember. Work done by time. Because bullets are in motion, the work done will be in the form of kinetic energy. Kinetic energy formula half mv square. There will be n bullets are there, so n into half mv square by t. N value 360 of m value v square. T value per minute, so 60 seconds. On calculating, on solving this, T value power 5400 watts or 5.4 kilowatt. Because kilowatt means 9000, it will become 5400 will become 5.4 kilowatt.